I told you so, right? Nobody likes to hear that. Nobody likes to hear that, but I told you so. Yes, I did. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let's show the phone number and the email address and the social media way you can follow us. I told you so. You didn't listen. Give me that last picture I put up. Remember this guy? Michael Williams, former Georgia state senator. He had the deportation bus. Murderers, rapists, kidnappers, child molesters, and other criminals on board. He could ride that bus. He is in the other criminals on board. Stay back 1,000 feet. Follow me to Mexico, the deportation bus. Remember that? I know you don't like the I told you so. And I'm sorry, I guess nobody wants to hear that. But you know who you are out there that voted for Michael Williams. You know. I went and I told you. I said, don't fall for this guy. Do not fall for this guy. Former State Senator Michael Williams, who waged a controversial campaign for governor last year, has pleaded guilty to making false report that computer servers were stolen from his campaign office shortly before the last place primary finish. The Forsyth County Republican was sentenced last week to 4 years of probation, 20 hours of community service, and $5,000 fine under the First Offenders Act. The court records were sealed. He claimed, and now his campaign manager has obviously does not have the same response. It was absurd turnaround. It was an abrupt turnaround for the Republican Williams' former campaign, Seth Weathers, who called the indictment a political witch hunt and mocked local prosecutors for bringing charges. So the charges issued in December by Hall County against this guy, authorities related to May 2018, indict where Williams reported that his Gainesville office was burglarized. At the time, Weathers said $300,000 worth of computer servers were taken from the building. He filed a false insurance claim, supposedly robbed himself of $300,000 of computer servers, okay, at his campaign office. Filed a false claim. I wonder if he wanted to get some of his $300,000 back that he spent on that campaign, or he still had outstanding campaign bills. I wonder. But anyhow, I went to a dozen. He was on the show. I went to a dozen things where Michael was at. Okay. Michael Williams, in my opinion, stood on a stage, in my opinion, and told several lies. Okay? I remember the one, I forget if it was $100,000 or $1 million. I forget which one it was. It might have been 120,000, I forget. But he had these super cuts or whatever, or these athletic cuts, not super cuts, these sport cuts or whatever. Okay, haircut in place. You go in and watch the ball game on TV while you're getting a haircut. So he had a chain of those, and he had a manager. Okay, he had a manager, and he was being investigated by the IRS. So I'd like to know some of the other things. Okay, you should hear the story of the IRS investigation that this guy told. Number one, which would be interesting to hear the end of that. And two, he wanted this manager to understand what $120,000 looked like. Now I'm going to say 120, it might have been $1 million, okay? What $120,000 looked like. Because that's what their responsibility was $120,000 in this business. I forget. He would tell these stories. So he went to the bank and he said, he wrote a check for $120,000 and they said, Mr. Williams, we can't cash that. So he said he had to go to 10 different banks and write, or 12 different banks and write 12 different checks for $10,000 to get his 120. So when he redeposited, if my memory serves me right, the money, okay, he didn't think about it. He just redeposited $120,000. The next thing you know, the IRS was looking at him and so forth. This guy could tell a story. It's my opinion. It's my opinion, I want to be clear, that this guy could tell multiple lies, my opinion. And I told people, I called people and I said, don't vote for this guy. Don't vote for this guy. You better look into him. No, Michael's a conservative and the government's coming after Michael and Michael's a conservative. What the hell? No, he's not. You better listen to these stories, okay? So anyhow, let's go to, I just wanted to tell you, I know you're not happy, but I had to say I told you so. I'm going to leave the Comey alone. It's 9:30. I might do that last. The media is going nuts. Let's go with this one. Number 9. There must be something we don't know because the media is absolutely going nuts. I don't know if Ruth Buzzy Ginsburg, is that her name? Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice, is ready to finish it up. But remember Mitch McConnell, was it Merrick Garland? Is that his name? You remember when the late, great Antonin Scalia died with that pillow over his face out in Texas? The night, that night in his sleep, the night before he was, feeling great, he was down for dinner and they were going on a duck hunt the next day or whatever, and he retired to the room and nobody suspected anything. And there you go. It could happen. It could happen, right? But you remember Obama wanted to replace Antonin Scalia in an election year with Merrick Garland, and Mitch McConnell would not bring him up for a vote, would not even bring him up for a consideration of a hearing, or would not even bring him, whatever they officially have to do, to go meet with the senators before the Judiciary Committee, put him on the schedule. He didn't let nothing happen. And Mitch McConnell claimed it was an election year and you don't put Supreme Court Justice on the bench on an election year. And the media is going nuts. How a Supreme Court shakeup could impact future cases. Now, they're going to, and I put this together earlier, they're going to try to tie the Supreme Court. They're going to try to tie the abortion law, Roe v. Wade. They're going to try to tie the film industry. They have nothing but to run a fear campaign. They have no candidate to give it to. Biden can't handle it. He's out in Texas. They cannot get a crowd. They cannot get a crowd for the front runner. So let me go through here. So that is number 9. I just want to show you the media is spinning their head off over this. And there's number 17, CNN. That's MSNBC. This is what CNN got off the fax machine this morning when they were told what to do. McConnell flip-flops on potential Supreme Court of the United States vacancy, potential vacancy. Says he would confirm Trump appointee during 2020 election year. Oh my God, that's not what you told us with Merrick Garland, with Obama. If a Supreme Court justice was to die next year, what would you do? I'd fill the seat. McConnell said he would fill the seat. Here's 18. Okay, McConnell flip-flops on potential Supreme Court of the United States vacancy. Okay, and Missouri. I just got to run this real quick. I'm telling you, what an election year it's going to be. Number 20. Abortion may be unavailable in Missouri by Friday. State expected to block services at last center providing procedure. Now, Missouri just passed the 8 weeks, I think 8 weeks bill. But Missouri has closed all of these centers. Let's go to 21. Supreme Court of the United States keeps block in. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Number 22. Sorry about that. Number 22. Abortion may be unavailable in Missouri by Friday. There's Planned Parenthood. State expected to block services at last center providing this. Number 23. Abortion may be unavailable in Missouri. Here is the governor of Missouri signing the 8-week bill. Okay. Let's see if I can find my article on that. I'm sorry about that. I just decided I wanted to get that one. We talked about Roy Moore, get off his horse and get out of town. Hang tight. I got this one here somewhere. Hold on. 20 years later, after the crime bill, Netflix warns Georgia. All right. Trump. Let's see which one I have here. I don't think I have the Missouri article up that I wanted. I don't think I do. So I don't have that one up. Let's go to some different pictures. I thought I had a Missouri article, folks. I'm sorry about that I was going to talk about. Now, Amash. GOP Congressman stands by call, number 24. All right. So last night, this congressman is all excited because he got a standing ovation. Okay, he's got a standing ovation. GOP Rep Amash there in Michigan can't let Trump's conduct go unchecked. All right, town hall gets heated when Amash calls on a Trump supporter. I watched that video this morning. Now, let me say this. He defends his record. First, a town hall, okay? And they are loving their newfound hero, the Democrats are. He's their newfound hero, number 25. GOP Congressman stands by call to impeach Trump. He gets a standing ovation. Here is number 27. All right. Number 27. And let's see if I have another one I want. So, let me explain this in a couple ways. One, it's a town hall. It's a town hall in the district where, yes, Trump did win. We're in the 9th District of Georgia here. A couple years ago, Congressman Doug Collins, all right, and Georgia, the 9th District of Georgia, you can look it up, but I think we're the 3rd most conservative voting district in the United States, I think, in congressional district, all right? I think we're the 3rd most conservative voting congressional district in the United States. Congressman Doug Collins has been opposed in the primaries by other Republicans. A couple years ago, when I feel personally that he was pressured and intimidated, he by Republican leadership, and I hate to say that about him. He voted for an omnibus spending bill, which did not go over well in the 9th Congressional District here in Georgia. And they still don't go over well, and Republicans have to repair that ASAP when they win back control of the House. They can't win back control of the House and continue the spending at the rates they are with these omnibus spending bills. Anyhow, Collins has been challenged in the 9th District in the primary. Now, Josh McCall for all, okay, ran against him as a Democrat. I think he got 20%. I mean, it might be lower, but he got 20%. Here's the point. Doug Collins did a town hall, several years ago, and we knew about it, myself, we promoted it, and several others out there, because we got wind, and not that we wouldn't go to the town hall, but we got wind that Democrats were going to pack the town hall. Now, this was during the time when we were talking about health care, and Republicans were voting to repeal Obamacare, and we got information that Democrats were going to pack this town hall. They were going to get there early, pack this town hall, and disrupt it. Okay? They were going to disrupt the town hall. All right? And we had people there with signs, you know, you might as well kill me if you're going to take my health care, and, you know, if I die, will it bother you? I mean, we had all that going on. But Republicans knew it was going to happen, and we packed the place. I mean, Republicans went and packed the place. Now, I don't know this, but watch to see if this comes out. See if this hero here, because what I heard this morning is some reporting that said there were actually Democrats in the room that said they have never voted for Congressman Amash, but they were definitely going to this time. Interesting. So now he has become a hero to the left. He is the sole congressman, and he gets up last night and he talks about his conservative voting record and how if you check all the conservative think tanks and you look at all of his record, he is higher than most in Congress. He is a conservative. He's a fiscal conservative. He's voted against things, and he will defend his conservative record. Okay. But my guess one is Democrats packed this town hall to say thank you to him. My guess this happened over a holiday weekend. When did this happen? Grand Rapids, Michigan. When was the town hall? I got to make sure he got a standing ovation. All right? So, all right, Amash gets standing ovation at first town hall after calling Trump's impeachment. This is 5/28 yesterday, which is Tuesday. Justin Amash received a standing ovation Tuesday evening. So Tuesday evening, last night, all right, I thought so, I want to make sure. Now, coming off Monday, everybody at the lake, coming off a holiday weekend, people aren't paying attention, maybe. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I'll bet you Democrats knew he was having that town hall. And I bet you Democrats rallied to make sure they got to that town hall. And I want to bet you that what you're hearing today with Amash getting a standing ovation at that town hall, the media was all ready to go. I will bet you that. And those Democrats, I went to a meeting a couple months ago in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And it was advertised as something that sounded like a conservative constitutional discussion on the Electoral College and elections. So I went. I was the only conservative Republican in the room. There was probably about 40 people and me. Anything I asked or said, they attacked me. Absolutely. So I'm wondering if the audience there, if it was pretty much Democrats. Now, let me say this, and I'm going to get off this subject with Amash. If you watched that town hall last night, and I watched a lot of portions of that town hall, when the Trump supporter got up and started talking to him, the crowd booed, okay? They didn't cheer for her. You gotta remember, they did not cheer. Pay attention to that video. There was no cheering for her. Now, if this guy is the conservative, now wait a minute, think about this, okay? You got clues, there's clues. People leave clues behind. Now, if you go to the lady, can you do me a favor, Josh? I didn't get a picture. Would you Google picture of lady Make America Great Again hat at Amash Town Hall and see if you can come up with the picture? It's going everywhere, all right? Now, if you'll go listen and just when you get it, put the picture up. Now, supposedly, this guy has this amazing voting record. Supposedly, he is the ultra most conservative guy in Congress, to hear him say it, okay? And he's just doing the right thing. And he's in a district that Trump won, double digits, I don't know. And his supporters are conservatives, and his supporters sent him, okay, sent him to Washington, D.C. to do everything he's doing. Now, this lady gets up, and she's wearing a Make America Great Again hat. And all of a sudden, she is booed. And Amash keeps saying, hey, don't do that. Let's respect her, all right? I got Josh looking for a picture. When he finds it, he'll get it up there. Let's respect her. Don't attack her. So, there you go. Thanks, Josh. And Amash is saying, don't attack her. You know, come on. And she's saying, really? I have a Make America Great hat and you're booing that? Really? Now, I would have thought when you watch this 3 minutes, if this is the most conservative Republican in the state of Michigan and in the House of Representatives, according to him, his scores in this district, and those are his voters that put him in, and they're a room full of conservative, probably Trump supporters. You're not going to find a full room of Trump supporters. You got to pay attention, folks. This thing was so stacked. Now, Trump supporters show up 15, 20,000 at a time. But when this lady said, I want to know why you became a Democrat, went from being a Republican to a Democrat, she says this. She is booed. She is booed everything she does. Where is the outbreak of applause for her at any time for anything? You're not going to convince me that in Amash's district, there are not conservatives upset with him. You're not going to convince me that if you voted for this guy in Michigan and you are that conservative, let me tell you something. All conservatives share. We all know Peter Strzok. We all know Lisa Page. We all know Bruce Orr. We all know Nellie Orr. We all know Andrew McCabe. We all know that Andrew McCabe's office there as the assistant head of the FBI or whatever. We know that Peter Strzok and Lisa Page went in his office one day and put their feet up on the coffee table and said, Andy, what the hell are we going to do? And we all know they put an insurance plan together. We all know the name Glenn Simpson. We all know Fusion GPS. We do. We know, what's his name, Steele and the dossier. We know about the FISA court, right? We know the name, and we learned George Papadopoulos. We learned it. See, we know. We know very clearly. We know James Comey lied under oath. We know that. We know Loretta Lynch said James Comey lied. We know that. See, we know every bit of that. We know the Trump campaign was spied on. If you are in his district and you voted for Donald Trump and you're a conservative and you're following this guy right here and he's your guy until 2 weeks ago and he comes out, you're not going to tell me. Let me tell you something. It's flat out B asterisk 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 S asterisk asterisk asterisk. I think I spelled BS. You're not going to convince me that Trump comes to town in Detroit, outside of Detroit, Pennsylvania, and 25,000 people show up. You're not going to convince me, as dedicated as Trump supporters are, that they did not keep up, know about, and try to flood this town hall. You're never going to convince me that Trump supporters did not try to flood this town hall in Michigan and say, what the hell is wrong with you? See, this guy's talking about treason. This guy's talking about obstruction of justice and impeaching Trump and impeachable offenses for a crime he knows Trump never committed. He knows Trump never committed a crime. And what they want to charge Trump with is the obstruction of nothing. There was no collusion. It doesn't matter after that. It doesn't matter. The reason was looking into collusion. And Mueller does not want to testify. I'll guarantee he does not. He may, but he does not. Because he does not want, if he does it, it's behind closed doors. Because he does not want the American people to see Jim Jordan or Doug Collins or any other Republican. And if I was Doug Collins, I'd save it for myself as the ranking member. And they do not want to see Doug Collins say, Mr. Mueller, could you tell me and the American people when is the first time after you took over this or started this investigation, how long before you actually realized there was no collusion with the Trump campaign? They don't want to answer that question because, number one, Mueller knew before he took it. You got to understand, special counsel was just to satisfy. Okay? They would not shut up until they just satisfied them, and Republicans said, yeah, go with it, right? Second, we can get deeper in that. You may disagree. Second, Mueller knew the day he took over, at least 60 days in, he should have handed the file back in and said, I can't waste the taxpayers' money. So all this obstruction, okay, that supposedly took place, Amash knows. He knows the obstruction is over, or the alleged obstruction by the president is over things that never happened to begin with. So Amash, you're not going to convince me. And when this lady made her comments, if you go watch, listen for an applause. There's none. Something's bad wrong, there was no applause. Something's bad wrong that he got a standing ovation. You want me to believe that a room full of Trump supporters went in there and switched over and gave this guy a standing ovation? Did not happen. It didn't happen. They didn't give him a standing ovation. It was packed, stacked, and Democrat. Period. Listen for, you want a clue? Listen for an applause. Because I don't care what happens, and I don't care if it was first come, first served, a Democrat slept outside to make sure they were first in line to get into his town hall, and that's probably what happened. but there should have been a handful in there at least. And when this lady made some comments, there should have been enough noise to hear them. But nope, not at all. And let me just say this, okay? I don't know if these are in order, but James Comey has wrote an op-ed. They are scared to death, folks. Absolutely, they are shaking. What do we call it in the boots? Number 28. Comey said, no lies, no coup, no treason, no coup, just lies and dumb lies at that. So every one of us, it's dumb lies. Let's go to number 3. We'll read it even if it's backwards. Now, that might be backwards. Let's just go to number 8. I'm sorry. Number 8. I want to go with number 8. Comey wrote this, no treason. But wait, the conspiracy ideal gets dumber. On October 28th, after agonizing deliberation over 2 terrible options, I concluded I had no choice but to inform Congress that we had reopened the Clinton email investigation. All right? Number 7. I judged hiding that fact after having told Congress repeatedly and under oath that the case was finished would be worse than telling Congress the truth. Number 6. But wait, the conspiracy ideal gets dumber. This is the way this guy's talking to you and I. On October 28th, after agonizing deliberation over the 2 terrible options. Oh, is that one I sent you twice? Yeah, I sent you that one twice. Okay. Oh, okay. Number 5. This is the one I was looking for. We investigated. We didn't gather information about the campaign strategy. We didn't spy on anyone's campaign. We investigated to see whether it was true that Americans associated with the campaign had taken the Russians up on any offer of help. How about the part, James, of where you should have went directly to the candidate and the top staff and say, we feel your campaign is being infiltrated by Russians. We feel you need to know that you may have a group of Russians trying to infiltrate your campaign to influence the election. We need to let you know that we're watching that. Where was any of that? I don't know. I don't think it was anywhere. Anywhere at all. So let's go to number 2 one more time. That's Joe Biden. And Biden makes first Texas trip as a 2020 presidential campaign, pitching new education plan. Wow, that's a shocker. He's making a 2-day swing through Houston and Dallas. Democrat presidential frontrunner Joe Biden made his inaugural trip to Texas Tuesday, using an event here with teachers to promote new education plan, his campaign's first major policy announcement. That is a shocker. Appearing at a town hall organized by American Federation of Teachers, the former vice president highlights the plan's call to nearly triple Title I funding, which helps school with high percentage of students from low-income families. That's just a shocker. I would have never thought Joe would go that low. They are going crazy over, let me pull this up. Give me this. I'll tell you right now, do your own research later today. They are going absolutely crazy. Give me number 11, because Donald Trump made a comment in Japan. Biden campaign says Trump's comments are beneath the dignity of the office. Beneath the dignity of the office. You remember when that young lady was beneath the dignity of Bill Clinton in the office? Oh, God, it's beneath the dignity of the office. Well, I got one more I want to show you there. I think I have the tweet on that. He spelled Biden, and I know I have the same issue with the keyboard. Biden's campaign, CNN, number 32, that's MSNBC. Just want to show this. Biden's campaign hits back at Trump, CNN. This is what they had. Calls Trump low IQ comments beneath the dignity of the office. Take some time and research how many of our American elected officials, currently or formerly, have gone all across the world and badmouthed us. I mean, when Trump became president, they were so nervous about NATO and our European allies, they ran all over Europe promising them, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We don't like Trump either. Don't worry. Okay? How about this? Let me ask this question for you jackasses out there that are so upset that Trump called Trump agreed with low IQ individual, okay? How about the press corps? Politics stops at the shore, right? And I'd like to have this put out here, Josh, in this last little bit. Politics stops at the water's edge, right? That's what they're crying. Remember when politics stopped at the water's edge? Remember that? I remember when politics stopped at the water's edge for everybody. And you listen in the North Korean, okay, summit. You listen to Vladimir Putin, President Trump. You listen to every press conference, no matter where it's at in the world. There's not the dignity of any journalist not to ask the dumbest damn questions to our President of the United States to try to make him look as bad as they possibly can on foreign soil. I was actually sticking up for sleepy Joe Biden while on foreign soil. Kim Jong-un called him a low IQ idiot and many other things. Whereas I related to the quote of Chairman Kim as much softer, low IQ individual. Who could possibly be upset with that? Joe, you're there 40 years and you're going to tell me and your Democrat voters you're the guy to go fix things? That's what you're going to tell teachers? You're the guy to go fix things? Really? Same guy that backed that 94 crime bill? Hey, politics stops on the water's edge. What about our journalists that go everywhere in the world to see if they can't belittle our president in front of foreign media everywhere? Really? We don't feel sorry for low IQ individual, sleepy Joe Biden. I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday. Take us out of here, Josh.